Good morning. It's Lion Talk with Smokkin. Jeremy B. Von Doom is running late because Pepsi is asshole. We'll leave it at that. We got Dwayne Keene in the chat already this morning. Good morning to all. Let's go, Detroit Lions. One Pride Kings of the North Division Championship title. It's going to be a great day. We had a couple things to talk about. We actually signed 2 of the camp invites so far. We may be signing a 3rd from what I'm hearing, but nothing's been done yet. I'll explain all that as we go along. But hey, it's almost time to get this intro rolling.
Charles here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out New Cat Bodies by Jeremy Smokkin.
Good morning, Keegan. But if you haven't heard, we signed wide receiver Kaden Davis, who was a UDFA that went from the Broncos to the Panthers to Arizona and now here. So we signed him out of the camp invites. And we also signed tight end Parker Hess. Henry Gray in the chat saying, good morning to all. Wonderful day today. Go Lions. Pat Rothwell, good morning, Smokin. Jeremy B. How was my week? My weekend was great. I got to see my brother I hadn't seen for a minute, his twin sons. I got to go eat at a barbecue. I got to enjoy my weekend. But for the most part, I was alone, like I will be for another week and a half with blessed silence around the house. Hallelujah. And found out the debut of Lions Talk with Smokin Jeremy B is going to be on Roku at noon as well. So we got another show right after this. So I have a hard stop at 10:02 so I can get the other show rolling. We're growing, boys. That's 13 shows a week just on my channel. You get to enjoy my face for radio and my voice for you. As far as the camp standouts, there was a 3rd invite that actually did everything the coaches asked for, and I think he's going to end up getting signed to the team. If he doesn't, I think it's a mistake. And that's the 6'3" cornerback / safety, JJ Ross. He's 205 to 210 pounds, depending on where you see him listed. No, Lions haven't officially put out a weight on him yet, but he played outside corner the first 2 days, switched to safety. Pat Rodwell, yo, Jeremy, yes, sir. I don't know why not. Oh, yes, it's morning. I'm stretching. Don't mind me. It'll still be here on YouTube. It'll still be going to my podcast page. And I heard they will keep him at safety. I don't know. I know he had an interception every day of camp, and he played 2 days at outside corner. He was opposite Terry Anano. Agent Zero had a great camp. Sion Vaki looked great at gunner and kick returns. And that's what Kaden Davis excelled at. And the fact that we're signing players that are invited, I'll tell you what, I talked to Jeff Risden for a little bit through his chat on his podcast, and he said, you really, other than the fact he was playing right guard, body type and style of play, you couldn't tell a difference between Christian Mahogany and Jonah Jackson. Well, they saw something in him because he was burning people, Keegan. I think that all hinges on AG and if he uses the defense right, Todd. I, I don't have faith in AG. This is the no excuses year for our defensive coordinator. No excuses to have a bottom 10 passing defense again. Bet looked good. Nate Lynn also looked good, but we don't have that many spots left before the 90-man roster is filled. As a matter of fact, we got one. So we're going to be deciding who it is. The UDFAs that were signed, they're on the roster. It's everybody else out of the camp invites. We got one more spot, and I think it's going to be JJ Ross because I really didn't hear anything great about anybody else for a camp invite. But Nate Lynn had the best bend of everybody. Manu struggled his first 4 or 5 snaps. He was holding people too long, getting penalties, but that's normal. Pat Rothwell says, you are correct on our defense. I don't expect top 10 because you know what? We were the 22nd defense overall, third on offense, 27th here, 22nd in scoring. I just want it to get into the top 15. If it gets into the top 15, we were in the Super Bowl last year. We probably only would have lost 2 games. But Betts is looking as advertised. You kind of have to protect him. He's staying on the roster, but he'll be buried. He's behind Skipper. All depends on Reader. He is going to be a huge. It does depend on Reader more than Davenport. Davenport, we don't expect much out of. Reader only had one injury, and that was last year. He should be fully recovered and at camp. Uh, they'll protect Manu because I'll tell you what. After the first 4 or 5 snaps, uh, they did that bull rush drill with the 2 players lining up, whether it was offensive lineman or defensive lineman, and him and that Bruce Hudson, the other center slash guard slash tackle that we had in the camp invite. Now he's 6'5" and 305. Manu's 6'7" and 352. Should be a good battle, right? Manu shoved him so hard that Hudson folded like an empty trash can that got ran over by the dump truck that just emptied it. That man is imposing. Orlando, he means protect him on the roster. They both occurred last year. It was his only injury. I think CJ Moore is a camp body or a special teamer at best. He has to be the second string rotational DT. Because guess what? Who else do we have other than a bunch of tweeners? Throw Gibbs on Manu back and head to the end zone. Someone we respect will be cut. Shows how truly we've improved. I have the feeling Vildor's on his way out. The way I heard that the rookies did that we drafted, uh, Ennis Rakestraw actually impressed people in the slot. Yes, you heard that right. Our second pick is a slot corner. I'm not even going to get into that till we start to see him in the preseason because there's 90 players and we got to cut it down to 53, and then we end up with 14 practice squad members, maybe 17. I can't remember what the number is exactly. But I'll tell you what, Betts a couple of times faked like he was going outside, got the tackle to switch to that side, cut back inside, bull rushed under, and made some good plays. You didn't hear much about Theo Day because he was the guy that was getting sacked all the time by Nate Lynn and Betts. We're stacked with slot corners. Terrion Arnold played outside. Carlton Davis has played outside. Amik Robertson has played outside. I don't want to hear we're stacked with slot corners. But Ennis Rakestraw, he was playing a lot faster. He actually improved because his core muscle injury that he injured at the beginning of last season was finally healed. So his hip swivel and his change of direction skills was actually on display this weekend. And he was much faster than his 40 time at the combine because he was still rehabbing his core muscle injury that he had surgery on. So, yes, uh, the plan is for Branch to play more safety. They've said that so many times now. But Sion Vaki, great job. Christian Mahogany, like I said, that's a glowing statement about a rookie. When they said because he had the number on, he had the build, they couldn't tell the difference other than the fact he was at right guard, but between the way he played and Jonah Jackson, we got a guy to step in for Zietler if he retires. It's great. Manu took half the snaps at left tackle, half the snaps at right tackle. Um, I heard good things about Kingsley Eguaquan, that he did a great job at center. Yep, and like I said, until the UFL is done, we can't touch them. We can't offer them nothing. Exactly. That's what I said. What I said. Well, somebody was saying it was their only injury. Baki will be Taysom Hill, and maybe he throws a touchdown this season. Branch will float all over the field, even linebacker here and there. And he's played in our stadium and hasn't missed in our stadium. Think about that. Think about the comfortability. The only place he's ever kicked a field goal since high school has been Ford Field until he did it. He didn't kick a field goal when he was in college. They used him predominantly for kickoffs. And I guess they didn't really have James Turner kick any field goals, the kicker that we signed as a UDFA, but they used him all on the kickoffs, and he hit over 90% of them in the splash zone. And I think the CBA will get pushed to that. They can't raise it to 18 games till the current CBA is done because the players bargained for the money for the 17 games and changed all the preseason rules. So I don't think that gets done to the next CBA. But yes, there does need to be an increase both of the regular roster and the practice squad if they're going to 18 games. They never used them one snap the whole weekend at safety. They said they're not going to use them at safety. As a matter of fact, in one of the interviews, they said they're going to use them only at running back and special teams. And as far as him as a running back, as far as him as a running back, he runs very heavy footed, but not slow. He's not like he tears up the ground when he runs like Jamal Williams did, but faster. If that makes sense on what I'm trying to say. He's missed 2 field goals outside, but he's also made a total of 4. So he's doing the same thing outside as he is indoors, Keegan. Yeah, I was hoping that's what they were going to do when they combined the 2 leagues, is they were going to keep it as a 16 team and make a UFL and an USFL and then an XFL and have them go at it instead of combining them to make the teams they did. Yeah, Vaki was actually unstoppable for tackling the kick returners. He was big at it. They couldn't do anything to stop him from getting to the ball carrier. Branch and Arnold United is huge for our defense. I would have loved to have seen JB handle that heated debate with the Packer slob instead of the heavyweights of Woodward. Maybe next time. What Packer slob? Tell me. Yoli Cruz. Good morning, young lady. How are you? I mean, they know best at what they want to use him for. I just heard he was versatile, could do that. But you stated that doesn't mean that's what he's going to do. I do love him at special teams. Happy Monday. Yes, it is a happy Monday. And here in another 40 minutes, 41 minutes and 30 seconds, I go live for the first time with my Huddle Sports Network show. Yes, absolutely. Keegan Eckert says Grassi. You know, this has been an amazing run over the past 3 years. Um, did you guys look at the community post I did on YouTube on all the people that have been on my show or helped me to get to where I'm at? And I didn't even realize it. And I missed one. And I want to say it right here live. Thank you, Mike Kimber of Lions Nation Unite and Chat Sports, who's now on ESPN Radio in Grand Rapids. He's also been on this show, celebrating my accolades with me because we met on Detroit Lions on the Prowl when I first started. I also forgot to mention Lions Nation Unite. All right, we are Lions Nation, which was the first podcast I did for my very first season podcasting. Logan and Andrew, which if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have met my co-host Dan Leonard, who should be in any minute. He's on his way home now. And it is what it is. The heated debate titled with Locked On Packers about the Detroit Lions with Peter Bukowski of Locked On Packers. Oh my God, you can't you can't argue with some of those guys, but I would have loved to try. I love it. I love it when they try to say, "But we beat your ass in your house and you guys barely got by us." I said, "Wait a minute. You beat us by 7 points and we beat you by 14 in your house. Quit blowing smoke up your own fans' asses." Then they tried to say, "Well, we had a big lead and gave it up, and you guys gave it up in garbage time in the fourth quarter." You guys allowed 2 of our 3 third quarter touchdowns the entire season. With their size, put Martin and Manu in to block field goals with their length. Hey, I wouldn't. Oh, it's FTP every day on this show. Unfortunately, on Roku, I gotta stymie the cussing. He ranked the wide receivers. Amara is number 1, then the Pack have the next 4 best wide receivers. Oh, yeah, he's delusional. If he didn't have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison above his 4 wide receivers, and for that matter, the guy down there and DJ Moore, they're better than those 4 wide receivers. And you could put JMO in with any of those 4 wide receivers, really, because they may joke about the suspension and joke about his injury the first year, but Christian Watson is just as injured as JMO. He's missed as much time over the 2 seasons almost. My bad, just compared the 2 teams. Okay. When you said in the division, I was like, wow, talk about a delusional homer. I have it JJ, Amon-Ra, DJ Moore. Yeah, on Roku because it's actually FCC licensed and I don't want to get the channel stricken. You know what I'm saying? No F bombs. I think the usual stuff that you hear on TV, damn, shit, and hell, that's okay, but the F bomb's got to go. So it's the Packers, so I can say it in French. Trying to be silly. Just trying to make people laugh because that's what I like to do. Does anybody else feel like it's over for the Buffalo Bills being dominant in the NFC East? They lost a lot on defense, and they didn't address it till mid to late in the draft, and which kind of surprised me. It surprised me a lot. I know they needed wide receivers, but they needed a whole secondary. The YouTube channel will be my YouTube channel housing this show. Um, Kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions, Detroit fan man, because I'm doing it through my restream because I want to be able to have the chat right up there. If Peter wasn't wrong on the wide receiver thing, if JMO doesn't step up, even if he does, by how much? How good is DPJ wide receiver 3 if he's an upgrade? We better hope so. JMO and DPJ being big improvement. Anybody that expected a lot out of DPJ was delusional last year. He didn't have a chance to have an off season to work out with the team. He came in at week 8. He was traded. He didn't even play for the first 3 weeks. So there was no chemistry built on this team. He didn't know the playbook. So that's where it was. Now he's got an off season working out with the team. Let's see what happens before you talk shit about a player that was only here for a blip on the radar. I get sick of that. Because DPJ in year 3, Year 4, they got a wide receiver in the draft, and yes, he was better than him talent-wise. So DPJ was pushed back in their room. But at the same time, he played more snaps than the other guy because he's better at run blocking. He just wasn't targeted. Go look at his year 3 stats when he had. Oh, he won't be a camp cut. He got the vet minimum. He's a wide receiver 3 with a vet minimum for a slot roster. It's exactly what his market value is supposed to be. We gave him a market value contract. And he might be mad about it because at one point he was a wide receiver 2. Any new Lions news? We signed Parker Hess and Kaden Davis. So far, I haven't seen where we signed JJ Ross yet, but that's the only other one of the camp invites I expect to be signed. And then that'll make for the 90-man preseason roster. Yeah, Levi is big on the cuts. He's going into year 4. There's hardly any dead cap room with a second round pick in year 4. If it was year 3, cutting him would have hurt the team. This year, not so much. I think it saves $1.5 million. Well, then you overestimated DPJ because I was never expecting Braylon Edwards because he was never a Braylon Edwards type of player at Michigan. That's you being a homer there again, Orlando. Every roster pick makes the roster usually that Brad Holmes does, if you think about it. Yeah, that's coming out of high school. He didn't play that way at Michigan. Wingo's making the roster. I'm pretty sure of it. But they still played their rookie years, did they not? They protected him on the practice squad. Houston was dealing with an injury that he got in the preseason. That's why nobody picked him up. He lingered on the injury report for 7 weeks. Then we protected him for 2 weeks and bring him in. Roman wasn't an elite star either. I don't see where you get all this stuff because I didn't see Roman Wilson as an elite star. He wasn't a first round pick, was he? I don't think so. I don't think Bell looked better than DPJ at Michigan. Maybe in plays. Thank you, Will Vogel. We don't have a whole bunch of UDFAs to beat out the people we got. Because the guy they've wanted hasn't been there where they wanted him. And they still think JMO can be that guy. And others thought the same thing about Corum wasn't taken to the third or fourth. I heard the only one on the table is Samuel because of his big contract. They're looking to clear cap. I thought Corum went early to the Chargers in the third. He was supposed to be taken in the fourth. Right. And I think they're going to give him a pass on it because of it. You watch, he'll still be here next season. It would take a miracle for Levi to ball out. I mean, he's not put shining either of our first string starters, D-Ty. So Levi is what Wingo, Martin, and Kamish might be close to Wingo as last second string, but other LA, I said Chargers. Oh, he went to the Rams. Yeah, okay. The Packers didn't think they had to trade up for him. The Lions traded ahead of him. Give kudo to who it belongs to. It's Brad Holmes. Yep. I don't even think he's third string because Pascal plays DT at times too. He moves inside and out. We had other guys that moved inside and out. And as far as Broderick Martin made a bigger impact last year than Levi on Muzariki already in his few snaps he was played. But that's because AG wouldn't play him. That's not a Broderick Martin thing. What did I think of? I don't give two shits because I'm not an NBA guy. And until they change the draft lottery, it'll never change. We always get screwed. Pac Vans, Cooper, DeJean, wanting Cooper loved the troll job on national TV. It's exactly what I thought he'd be. I said that when we drafted him. I said I see slot corner. And I heard he did very good at it. So let's leave him there. I said Ricochet would be nickel or dime if he played safety. And I think if he outplayed Kirby Joseph in the few games he did play last year. So I almost would start Iffy over Kirby. If it was me, my starters would be Branch and Iffy. Injuries will have it say they'll all play. Yeah, absolutely. We still don't know if Mosley's even going to come back healthy, or and where they'll put him when he comes back. Because if Arnold and let's say it's Arnold and Davis on the outside, or Arnold and Amik Robinson, either one, if they're balling out, we don't have to let Mosley play because he was given a $1 million prove it deal. That's the beauty of it. Like I said, we signed tight end Parker Hess and wide receiver Kaden Davis. What if Mosley comes back and his former self and outplays Arnold? Well, considering he's not supposed to play until week 4 of the regular season, I don't see that happening. It's just a blessing that our cut Achilles heel from last year becomes our strength at cornerback and safety room. Yes, sir. Will Harris being gone is the best thing that could have happened. Oh, darn, not that. What a problem. I said it last season. I'm going to say it now. This year's team is the best we have ever had. Talent wise, I agree. Top end of the talent wise, at what we got in the cornerback room and everything else, I think it's our best team, top to bottom, depth wise. I told you why. You haven't listened. He had a thumb drive. Debatable. Rookie contract helps. And next man up. Absolutely right, Joseph. At every position, it's next man up. So before I go live on the other one, we got to get it in here because you know what? It's our favorite sponsor, the best sponsor on the whole network, FTP. Put it in the chat what it stands for because I won't be saying it much next show. Best Lions roster ever. Looks like Fred's tantalizing prediction strikes again, and I'm all for it. And you're absolutely right. Had more stars, not overall talent. Fudge the Packers. FTP. Dave Eastman with an FTP. You know, I can't wait for that too. Pack the Packers. No, defense wins Super Bowls when your defense plays well. There was stars on that Rams team that couldn't do anything, remember? You guys say stars, but Pat Mahomes, his rookie year, was not a star. When he first started, his first year starting, he won a Super Bowl that year. He wasn't a star until after that Super Bowl. But if he throws 15 of them, he just might. I don't think Arnold's going to have. He has a different mentality than most of the guys we've drafted. He'll slide into the rakish straw at 3. I don't think Mosley has a chance to take over the 1 or 2 spot. Yes, sir, Fred Peterson. There's a lot. to be said. Go back and look at that roster. Chris Jones was there, but he wasn't considered a superstar yet. Travis Kelce was a superstar. Tyreek was just budding into a star because of Pat Mahomes, who was in his first year starting that year. So you can't really say that they were full of stars. People overhyped the stars thing. That defense was nasty all the way around, and a whole bunch of rank and file guys you never heard of. I'm big about the whole thing. It's a team sport. It's not just star driven. The only team that had a lot of stars and a mid quarterback that won 2 Super Bowls was the New York Giants. Both times they beat Tom Brady, the GOAT. Hey, finally, he's back.
What's up, buddy?
Not much. More clean shaven than me. You suck. No.
It happens. Some of us got to be professional around here and go to work and not look
No,
like
I ain't talking about just a JMO. I said, what if Hooker has 15 bombs the whole preseason? Is what I said. There's other people than JMO that runs fast. You're forgetting about Khalif Raymond. You're forgetting about Maurice Alexander. You're forgetting that Antoine Green has a fast 40 time as well and also plays really fast on the field. You forget that we have a whole bunch of speed on this wide receiver room. 4-4-ish guys. Missed the whole damn show. I fell back asleep, damn it. That's okay. We got another one coming up in 17 minutes.
yes, sir.
But it's almost time to cut this one off so I can have a cigarette break in between. But we signed wide receiver Kaden Davis and tight end Parker Hess out of the camp invites. It'll be on my YouTube, Ricky. And the only other guy in camp that stood out was JJ Ross, the 6'3", 200 and they say 5 to 10. I'm going to put it right in the middle and just say 207-pound corner. I think that's the only other one that gets signed because that rounds out the 90-man preseason roster. Wouldn't you agree?
Most likely, but it's still early, man. There's still got a whole bunch of off season here for these guys to show up still.
Well, rookie camp invites is when they make those signings, and then it's on to being team events. This is just from rookie camp. I think that's the last guy they're going to sign is JJ Ross.
How many roster spots do they have left?
1. Because the UDFAs are signed.
Gotcha.
Unless they cut Suckfeld, then they can sign Cade Peterson, who actually had a decent rookie camp too.
They never should have signed Suckfeld.
Oh, trust me, I know.
That's neither here nor there.
Right. Well, that being said, before I get off here, I got to do my due diligence and give homage to the 2 paying sponsors because we already did FTP. If you want to tell them what it is, there, Dan.
Oh, FTP. I believe that is fuck the Packies.
Yes, sir.
And unfortunately, it's going away.
Yep. And Gloss Negron, the best window tinner in Saginaw. 989-443-9240. Call to get your appointment set to get your windows tinted or your car detailed. He's at 409 Hamilton Street in Saginaw. I'm getting tongue-tied this morning. At least I'm catching myself before I say it. He does great work. as you can see with this Audi SUV in this 300C class by Chrysler.
What?
Nope, not at all, but congratulations to them. Chinese have their own football league now.
Adrian Peterson went to China.
Yeah. Because he couldn't get a job in the NFL, and he needs to make money because he's in the hole still. Brandon Service, right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. Stop in and see us. We have used tires starting at $40 and up, and we also have new tires. Call to get your quote, 810-233-8230. We will place the order, get them in within a day or two. Talk to George, Red, or myself, Smokkin, Jeremy B. We're not trying to get rich off of one person. We're trying to get rich off everybody. That's why our prices are so cheap.
That's what he said.
Yeah,
40 mil.
40 mil for 4 years. So that's 10 million a year. That's a lot of money.
That's starting running back in the NFL money.
Keegan, that shit, bitch, motherfucker. I'm getting him out now while I can.
Smart man, smart man.
Much love to everybody in the chat. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here for myself and Von Doom. Have a great day, everybody. And tune in at noon because I'm going to do a little bit more detailed about the mini camp. Now that we know the signings, what's been done, who stood out, I'm going to go into detail about the notes that I have from rookie mini camp. Have a great day, everybody. One pride.